Girls, when you factor here, what do you get? What's the GCF? 4. And girls, what goes inside? X squared plus 2, right? 4 times x squared is 4x squared, and 4 times 2 is 8. Raise your hand if you got that. Okay. You guys know I have a lot of kids, and you know in kids, you always want to be fair, right? You can't just give one kid something and the other kid gets nothing. That's the same thing with expressions here. 1, 2. This side has a 2, this one has a 4. So the lowest common denominator for the integers is going to be 4. This side has an x, but this side doesn't have an x. This one has x squared plus 2. So how do we make this fair in this math family? If this side has the x squared plus 2, eventually we have to multiply this side by x squared plus 2 over x squared plus 2. Basically what I'm trying to do is make the denominators look exactly the same. Does that make sense? This side has a what? This side has an x. But this side doesn't have just an x by itself, so I'm going to multiply this side by x over x. So, let's review what we have so far. Each side has the pink. Each side has an x. And now I have to make each side have a 4. So that means I'm going to multiply this side. See if I can find a different color. I'm going to have to multiply this other side by 2 over 2. So my lowest common denominator, if you actually multiply all that out, your answer would be 4x times x squared plus 2. And then what are my restrictions? Put your fingers on the variables on the denominator. What are you putting your fingers on, class? X. So you have x is not equal to 0. That's a restriction. It's already done. And then over here, you would put x squared plus 2, not equal to 0. Class, how do you get x by itself here? So before we square it, we're going to subtract. Class, what's left? X squared is not equal to negative 2. Class, how do you get rid of the power of 2? Pay attention. X cannot be... Remember, when you take the square root, you have to do plus or minus. Always. The factors of negative 2 are negative 1 times 2. Partner B, tell partner A, what's the square root of negative 1? Class, the square root of negative 1 is I. Now the 2 doesn't come out, so this is, when we're solving this one, this is what it looks like right there. X is not equal to plus or minus I radical 2. Now, class, is this real or complex? Complex. So, restrictions are real numbers. We want those. This one is complex. We don't want that one. So the answer for the restrictions on this problem is just x is not equal to 0. So when you're trying to find the lowest common denominator, try to figure out what each side has, right? Just be in that position where you're that kid who doesn't have everything, right? And you want your family to be fair.